All right, so the Protac 2L-X. This is probably one of my favorite Streamlight lights, and I'll explain why. So firstly, let's just take a quick look at the front of the box here, or the front of the packaging. So it is a dual fuel light, as it says there. So you can use two CR123A 3 volts, which is what you'll get in the box. A couple of Streamlights, 3 volt CR123As. Or you can use a Streamlight, well, it says Streamlight 18650 rechargeable lithium ion, but I just use a Keep Power 18650 3500 milliamp hour, which works just fine. It's got a 500 lumen max output, and it does have 3 programmable modes, and I'll show you how to get into them. So in the box, you won't get an 18650 battery. You need to buy that separately, but you will get your 2 Streamlight 3 volt CR123A batteries. You will also get a user manual. And so there's not a great deal of information in the user manual, but what it does show you, which is really cool, is, and I'll just get it up to the screen there, is the outputs and runtimes between CR123As and your 18650. So up the top here is CR123As, and down the bottom here is your 18650. Now, look what's very interesting. CR123A max lumens, 500 lumens. 18650 max lumens, 500 lumens. Low CR123A max lumens, 40, and minimum lumens, and low mode CR18650 is 40 lumens as well. Look at this, 30 hours of runtime with the 18650, 30 hours of runtime with the CR123As. On high, 2 hours and 45 minutes with the CR123As. On high, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So you're not really getting that much more with your 18650 rechargeable. It's more just for if you don't want to continue to buy batteries. But let me tell you why Streamlight sends their lights out with CR123A batteries. And that is because the target market for Streamlight is normally emergency service workers, policemen, and things like that, security and whatever. And so policemen don't want to be stuffing around with rechargeable batteries, having to stick it in a charger and wait and all that sort of stuff. So they've got a box of CR123A batteries in their car, and anytime that these batteries start to dim and go flat, they open up the back, throw them away, or throw them in a bin, whatever, and then grab fresh 2, lock and load, and they're good to go. So that's the purpose of a tool purpose-built light for emergency service workers and things like that. They do not want to be stuffing around with having to recharge batteries. Whereas for me, a standard just light enthusiast, I like a rechargeable battery because I can come home, stick it on the charge, and then I'm good to go for the next however long. But it is very practical to be able to store some CR123A batteries in my car, in my house, or wherever, and know that if that battery dies and I'm still out and about and I need my light, I've got 2 CR123 batteries and I'm not going to lose any lumens and very little runtime. So let's go ahead and install the 18650. And so the tail cap comes off like that. Everything else is one solid piece. The positive end goes towards the head there. Got a nice red O-ring to support water resistance. Now, Streamlight are made for tool purpose. They are very strong lights. And the first thing I notice about this light is it's nice and compact, it's nice and slender, it's got a beautiful deep carry pocket clip. It can tail stand, albeit precariously, but if you've got it pushed in, the tail standing is a little bit easier, but it can tail stand. You just don't like quickly do it because it'll fall. So if you want it to tail stand, really just sit it there, and hold it and then let go, and it will tail stand. But I wouldn't rely on the tail standing because it doesn't have, because the button kind of protrudes just slightly out. So you do need to have it pressed in for it to tail stand a little bit better. Now, if you don't want the pocket clip, you don't have to have it. It can unlatch, but it is on there very, very tight. So I love it because, as I said, the deep carry pocket clip is great and it's a very slender light. So it's a really nice light to pocket, this one. Now you've got a smooth reflector. You've got a domed emitter down there, and I'm not sure what type of emitter it is, but it does give off such a beautiful mixed beam profile. So When I say mixed beam profile, for anyone who hasn't seen any of my videos before and doesn't know what I'm talking about, what I mean is this is not a strictly hotspot and spill light. So there is a hotspot there, but look how much light there is in what I call the bleeding or the corona area around the hotspot, this kind of yellowy area. There's a lot of light dedicated to around the hotspot. That means that the distribution of light from the hotspot through the corona or bleeding area and then into the spill is very seamless and transitions really nicely, meaning you can be pointing this light at something to see what the hell it is, but you're also going to get a lot of light dispersed into the outer areas so that you can see a lot, not just what you're pointing the light at. And I love lights like that. They're very, very useful. So for me, as you'll see in the night shots, this is a brilliant light to use as an everyday carry light. Now, as I mentioned before, it is a programmable light. Before I show you the programs, let's just do some measurements. So it does come in at about 13 centimeters tall, and the thickest part of the light is the head, which is just about 2.5 centimeters. So very, very, very compact light for an 18650. I love it. It's such a nice light for an 18650. Now, the weight with the 18650 battery comes in at 122.38 grams, but we will also test it with the CR123As because it will be even lighter. So with the CR123As, we're looking at 106.62 grams. So I can guarantee that that is a noticeable difference of weight when you've got this thing pocketed, absolutely. But, you know, a rechargeable battery is heavy, an 18650 battery is heavy, but the benefit of it is that you don't need to continually buy batteries. But as I said before, with a dual fuel light like this, the best way for someone like a civilian like myself to operate it is have a rechargeable 18650 in it, and then a couple of spare batteries just in the car or wherever, so that if you do run out of batteries with this, you're not without a light, and that's important. Now, right now, I've got this on, what have I got this on? I've got this on high, strobe, low. Okay, so it always comes on in high, which is your 500 lumens, 2 hours and 45 minutes with CR123As or 3 hours and 15 minutes with an 18650. You get roughly 165 meters, although as you'll see in the night shots, it's a lot less than that for usable light. But it is a very, very, very nice, evenly spread beam. Now, if from off, if I half press and then fully click in, you get strobe, which is also 500 lumens. But if I half press, then click in, you get your low mode, which is 40 lumens. So this is a great mode for, you know, around the house or just, you know, when you don't need a blaring 500 lumens and the runtime is significantly high, you know, 30 hours with the CR123As, 30 hours with the 18650. Now, if you don't want high, strobe, low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold the 10th in, it'll change. Now, this one is high only. So the purposes of having it on high only is that if you accidentally nick the tail cap and then click it in, it's not going to go into strobe. You can momentary. If you want a momentary, you can signal. So if you want to signal SOS, or if you want to just signal something like, hey, over here, it's not going to swap into strobe or anything like that. So the only output that's ever going to come out of this light when it's on high only is high, which is your 500 lumens. Now, the last output, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold it in or click it in, is your, well, it's more of your EDC, your everyday carry style. So it always comes on your low mode, 40 lumens, and then 1, 2, your high mode, 500 lumens. That's it. So even if I go 1, 2, and then click in, it's just going to be high the same. So you've got two outputs, low and high. It's important to know that if I click this fully in and I'm using it, if I off and on, it's not gonna, that's not how it mode advances. You need to mode advance it from off, half press, full click in. Okay, so that's how you get to your high. I love this output for an everyday carrier output. I love it. Every time you click it in, you're gonna get the low mode, you're gonna conserve battery, and if this is not enough light, you just turn it off and then half press and fully click in, and you've got your high mode. Now, the button is very, very sensitive, very large button as well, very easy to press. Gloves, no gloves, you're always gonna find it. As I said before, really nice deep carry pocket clip with great tension and over here it's not coming off. So it's a very solidly made light. And all in all, I actually love this light for two reasons: the compact pocketability of it and the beam profile. I think the mixed beam that this light gives is one of the most useful lights for almost any application. I mean, if you're searching at several hundred meters away, this is not going to be the light for you, but almost anything else, this is going to be the light for you. And you'll see that coming up in the night shots. Now, if you want this light, I have linked it down below at tacticalgear.com. So just click on the link and it'll take you straight to this light. If you're not interested in it, then don't bother. But right now, let's go off to the night shots, guys, and then I'll finish the video there. All right, Streamlight Protac 2XL. That's on the highest output. And what I love about this light is the beam profile. It is a beautiful mixed beam. So over here gives a good example of that. In the trees, I aim it in just a general direction and you've got a large amount of light everywhere. Very, very, very useful light for most general purposes, really. Obviously being programmable as well gives you plenty of options. So this is the high, strobe, low option, which is a good option. I like it. You know, 3 quick half clicks brings you to low, which is, you know, around the house stuff, but then always comes on in high, which is always helpful, you know, going for a night walk or something like that. And it is very, very bright, you know, and the beam profile is just, it's a perfect beam profile, in my opinion, for general purpose use. Just perfect. Phenomenal. So there it is. 2XL Streamlight Protac. All right, see ya.